Let's make some adjustments. That's okay. But we can be live and make adjustments. That's how real life. Let's turn this. Hey, Dwayne. How y'all doing? I'm going to kind of get it focused on her head so y'all won't see me a lot. So, we're going to do a silk out. So, for those of you guys that were on here earlier, this is a result of the steam. Not sure if you can see her curls in here. I placed her under the dryer already for her 20 minutes under a cool dryer. As you guys can see, there's moisture in the hair. It's really, really soft, flowing. And right now, I'm just going to go through and air form it. So if you guys have any questions, I won't be able to see because I'm standing at a distance. But drop your questions, and when I'm done, we can do a brief Q&A. Or just hang out with me. Oh, so before I start, let me say this. I have two paddle brushes that I like to use, okay? This one is for closer to around the edges, the shorter portions, because as you guys can see, back in October, I cut her into a asymmetric bob. So I like to use this one for that. And then I love this one. This is my Sam Vila. It's about edged out, but this is my Sam Vila paddle brush. I love it for when I get up in there. So I like to leave some body in the hair and some bounce so that when I silk it out, it has a little flow to it. So again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box. And when I have a moment, I'll jump back in and I'll talk to you. Also, be sure to share this broadcast with somebody that might just like to hang out with us for a moment. Let me do what I didn't do. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Mimi Hawkins. I am the CEO, Miss Mimi, the cosmetological entrepreneur of operations, and the woman behind the chair at Chiq Salon by Mimi. I'm a 24-year industry veteran. I've been in this business for 24 years full time. I absolutely love what I do. Also, I'm a national educator, motivator, and strategist. So everything that I do, pretty much, it has a systematic approach to it. So I came on earlier and talked about curls, techniques, shampoos, conditions, so on and so forth. So I promised that I would come back and go live to do the silk out, just so you guys can get a little bit of view on what I do behind the chair. So join in again if you have any questions. Please be sure to drop it in the chat box. And then as soon as I have an opportunity to go back in, whether during the broadcast or after, I will be sure to come back in and answer any of your questions. If you would like to email me, please feel free to email me at ceomsmimi@gmail.com. All right, we're going live. So right now, what I'm basically doing is I'm basically just knocking the texture out of my hair, knocking the curls out with my blow dryer. As you guys can see, I do not have my diffuser on here. Not my diffuser. I don't have my my attachments on because I pretty much want to just loosen up her curl pattern. Now I'm going to switch and go to my big brush. Makeup here. Make. Tell them makeup here. I'm like, make. Okay, so I did not blow dry this round just to get it to get it dry. I wanted to get the residue of the moisture out of her hair, and as you guys can see, it's still full, because the whole concept here is to make sure that everyone know that this can be done without breaking the bonds, the side bonds, and knocking her natural curl pattern out. Right here, where the only portion of her hair where she's not natural and her disulfide bond is already broken is here where there's color. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in taking subsections, going to section off in 3 quadrants. Hi, Melina. I will see you this week, I do believe, huh, love? Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I am going to begin air forming her. So with this particular technique, what I like to do is I like to air form her to the point that when I go in and silk press, I don't have a whole lot that I have to do to the hair itself. Because if we go in, we've locked the moisture in, now we're going to go in and we're going to air form it so that it's not as much fullness in the hair, but we're not going to sleek it down so much that we have to put so much direct heat on the hair with the flat iron. Okay, and then I'll come back behind and then I was silking it out. The only thing that I have on her hair, hear me when I say this, the only thing that is on her hair at this current moment is our Infusion 365 leave-in. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Let me see. Is our Infusion 365 leave-in by Naked. That's the only thing that I have on her hair at this time. Hey, Nessa. Hey, girl. So hold down yet. So now this is where I like to come back in and put my nozzle on. Now, I like my nozzle because when you put this on, it's going to place the heat. This direct heat is coming from here instead of being all over the dryer as it was earlier. So it's going to simply come from here. Now I'm in a very awkward position, but I'm going to try and work this as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to turn this on. I won't hear you guys, but if you have a question, drop your questions and I'll be sure to answer them later. Drop a couple of waves out here to you guys. Let you guys know that I know that you're present. Okay. And so as you guys can see, being that we have already had a conversation about the style we want, when we finish, I'm not silking in her, I'm not air forming her down to a 0-degree angle because I do not want her hair to be heavy and lifeless. Okay? Hey, how y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, so we're gonna move ahead to the crown of the head, and we're gonna silken that part out. Switching my brushes, okay? Now, I'm going to move over to my second quadrant. And again, as you guys can see, we still have body in this hair because our goal is to give her some curls after we silken it out. So I don't want to silken her out at a 0-degree angle and take all of the life out of her hair. Okay, you see how fast I got done with that quadrant? Always remember this. When you're doing a silk out or an air form, when you're blow drying, the direction that you want the hair to float is very, very, very important. So that's for an in-depth class or conversation, but you want to make sure that the direction that you want that hair to flow is actually the direction that you're air forming. Thank you guys for coming back and joining in with me. So I'm now going to go into my last section, and I'm creating a subsection from there because this is the side we're going to have a part on, and we're going to end up putting some curls in her hair. We're going to put some curls in her hair, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't take all the life out from air forming, okay? Okay, now, one other thing that I want you guys to be mindful of, again, the only thing I have on her hair right now is our Infusion 365. That is it. I don't believe in putting a whole lot of product on the hair, so that's pretty much all that's on there right now. We're going to do this last area. Okay, so now with that being said, we are done with the air forming portion. And so what we're going to do, hey guys, thank you for joining in. Please be sure to pass this on to someone that you might feel that could utilize this information. So a lot of techniques I'm not speaking on because there are some things that even if I stated them, they will probably shoot over your head because they're more technical than anything. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to call me. Okay, so I'm gonna go in now. I know for certain that she has a little itchy spot, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'll go in and make sure that I infuse a little moisture, natural oils just in that spot, so that whatever is going on under her scalp, and I believe that is just a little nerve that gets to twitching, we'll fix that. Okay? Waking up on me. All right. So I'm gonna go in and we're gonna start her air forming. I'm sorry, silkening. And as I silken it, I'm pretty much just gonna go in, start at the nape, and silken her out. My goal is always to do one pass through. One good pass through is always my goal. Whenever I'm doing a silk press on anyone, because you have to remember that for every pass through that you do on a customer's hair, that's that heat sitting in position. All right. Now, let me say this real quick. If you were on here earlier with me, I know you can't see me, but if you were on here earlier with me, one of the things I want to bring to your attention is that if you have a client who has dry and itchy scalp and you're not doing a steam treatment, then that's something that you need to make sure that you are offering. Because a lot of times when clients are having dry and itchy scalp, and especially with the weather being as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as it has been, we need to make sure that we're lubricating their hair in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Kavana said, what did you put on her hair again? I missed that. So I put on her hair the Infusion 365 leave-in. This is something that you can purchase from any professional, as well as you can get it offline, or you can come into my location and you can purchase it from me. That is the only thing that I have on her hair at this given point in time. So again, I'm going to trim her up as well too. So I like to do one silk out. One run is pretty much always my goal. Now, I use titanium. Whenever I do silk presses, I use titanium. Hear me when I say this. I'm a professional. I do not recommend it to non-professionals simply because it's a different type of heat than ceramic. And so you want to be mindful. So if you go in and you get a silk press from your professional stylist and then you want to go home and maintain it with ceramic, that would be my recommendation. So even silk pressing has a technique to it. Okay, I'm going to turn her around. I'm going to come over here and see if I can adjust this camera just a little bit. If you guys can see, can you see the difference in her hair here and that shine from one pass through and the featherweight? And then this is the part that I hadn't even touched. You should always be able to see a difference when you're silk pressing someone's hair, because you don't want to have to go in and put more and more and more and more products on the hair just to yield great results. Okay? Now again, I'm in an awkward position, so I'm gonna turn her away from the camera just for a quick second. Let me get this back portion done. Close to the root, straight out. Now I'm coming straight out towards myself because again, I'm creating body. And here we go. That's what we got. So I'm gonna track on through. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. All right. So again, my goal is always, now let me say this, my goal is always to do one pass through, but you know, depending on what you have your flat iron set on, depending on what you have your how fast you are, how close you are, all of those things you got to take into consideration. So if you have to do a second pass through, you just want to be mindful to stay away from the hair that is already the oldest hair on the head, because it has a tendency to be a little bit more fragile. All right, anybody got any questions so far? Now, for whoever was on here earlier, for those that were on here earlier, you guys had an opportunity to see her curls and see her tresses. And whenever we decide to shampoo it again, or she shampoos it herself, I'll make sure that you guys see how she weathered over getting it silked out and getting her curls back in her head. All right. So I wanted you guys to just see that little bit so you guys can see how I go in and actually do my silk pressing. There are a lot of things that I take into consideration. One being the end result. Oops. The one being the end result of the styling. I take that into huge consideration, because depending on how you're going to how you're going to style the hair, air forming is crucial to how you lay that hair, and as well as silkening it out. So you have to be sure that if you're going to put body curls or bouncy curls in the hair, you don't want to totally go in at a 0-degree angle and silken that hair out so that it's limp. And then you want to be mindful of the products that you use so that you can go in and style that hair afterwards. Again, the only thing that I have on her hair currently is the Naked Infusion 365. So I'm going to come up in and around her perimeter. And as you guys can see, I'm not taking small sections, because again, I'm going to go in and give her curls later. So I don't want her hair to be so limp. So I want to have some volume in that hair. Can you guys see? Can you guys see the difference? So Kavana, I have my flat iron set on 450, and that's why it's very, very important that you use a flat iron that you know how it works, and then you understand how the power behind it. But that's also one of the reasons why I am a one pass person. My goal is to do no more than 2 pass throughs, and if I have to do a second pass through, then normally it's going to be either at the root or it's going to be on an end section that I may have missed. But as you guys can see, her full strand of hair is in that plate. And I'm going down the hair shaft one time. Just one time down that hair shaft. And I'm bringing her hair to me at a 90-degree angle and letting it fall at its natural fall. And as you guys can see, it's light. It's featherweight. You can see the flow in it. You see the movement in it. It's not weighed down at all. And it's not overpressed. And that's the thing that people have to understand, is just because you're silk pressing it, you don't have to fry it. You don't have to fry it. Now, when people, are concerned about their curl pattern, sometimes you have to just go back and look at what you've been doing to it. And again, this is a titanium iron. So I always, when I think about titanium, I always put titanium in the kind of it's a better material. But I always put it in the mind of using a pressing comb. I never learned how to use a pressing comb, so I love the fact that they came out with the titanium. One of the things that I love is the consistency of the heat. I don't have to worry about if this section was silkened out at 350 degrees and this section over here was silkened out at 200 degrees. I know that when I plug up my ceramic iron, I have consistent heat throughout my plates. So yes, so to answer your question, 450 degrees. Anybody have any other questions? Bringing it out toward me so that it has a natural fall. All right. You know, and let me say this, over here where she's where her hair color's at, you definitely have to be careful when you're dealing with color treated hair, just like you have to be very careful when you're dealing with relaxed hair. Hey, go reach out to me, sweetheart. We can definitely see, you know, where you are. In my practice of trichology, I have some information that I need to ask you so we can make sure that it's not something that you're doing from a styling standpoint, or is it something that your body's going through? So if you could reach out to me and let me know, and we'll go from there. Have a consultation, and we'll go from there to see if there's something that we can do. Find out if there's, you know, anything going on with the body. I don't want to say too much, but we'll go through those things. So reach out to me, DM me your number, and we can get together. But the one thing I can say is, if it's able to grow, I can grow it. If it's able to grow, if those follicles are still viable and alive, I can make it happen. It's one of them things I just kind of blessed with. I was blessed with these hands to be able to grow some hair, and also the skill set. So the, you know, me being a little nerd kind of works for me as well sometimes. Hey, Raquel, where you been at, girl? Where have you been? Where have you been? I'm sure working and making your money, being a great mommy. So as you guys can see, one pass through does the trick. You see the body, your face. Hey, love. Okay, so yeah, let's reconnect, baby. I'm still in the DFW area. I'm out in North Dallas right now. I have some things coming up for 2020, so I will be a little bit more visible than I have been. God had to sit me down for a minute so that I could hear what he wanted me to do. So now I'm ready to move again. All right, so you guys see in this section, Go, you said your scalp is tender. Okay, so you know what? One thing I would recommend you to do before you come and see me. Let me ask you this. How long have you been having that tenderness and that red and itchiness at your crown? Hey, Miss Roxanne. So go, tell me, how long have you been having that itching at the crown and the redness at the top of your head? Because I may have a better recommendation for you for right now. Okay, so you said for a while, over 6 months. This is going to be my recommendation to you. Go and see a dermatologist. Um, you can call me later, or DM me your number, or call me on my number. I think I'm certain my number's on there, and we can talk, and I can tell you what I think that could be going on. I am a practicing trichologist, but I am not a dermatologist, so I can't give you a diagnosis, but I can give you some ideas of what could be going on. But it could very well take a hand to fix what I believe is going on that's beyond my scope. That's one of the things that I, try and tell hairstylists. When we know that it's beyond us, don't try to fix a problem that's not in our league. So, yeah, hit me up. And I even have a dermatologist that I could recommend to you. So as you guys can see, we got her silkened out. Now, she has a patch over here that she's always talking about. It itch. But okay, so being natural, right? I know for certain that we did a great detox on her. She's always pretty much had some type of dry spot in her head or another. And one of the things is she doesn't she got it from her mama. She don't like fooling with this hair much. So she pretty much keeps it in a pretty comfort style. And the type of work she does, it doesn't require her hair to be down or stylish. So she loves this natural thing that she's doing. So you guys see, I'm just going in and hitting some spots. Okay. She loves this natural thing that she does. So with that being said, sometimes she doesn't give it all of the love that's needed. Does that make sense? Because you have to shampoo, moisturize, condition. You have to proteinize the hair sometimes. It depends. That's something that I highly recommend that you go into a professional and see to find out if you need a protein treatment. That is one of the things that I do not recommend that you try and do at home, because just like chemicals, proteins are one of those things that we have that the consumer supply houses are okay selling to you. But the problem with that is you can over proteinize your hair and your hair can fall out instantly. So I want you to be careful when it comes to getting protein treatments. Even the rice water. If people look up and see what rice is, then you'll understand what I'm saying. So make that something that you take out a little time and a little bit of money and go and see your hairstylist and get that treatment done. Okay, so I've gotten her thoroughly silkened out. And as I said, you guys can see volume. You guys can see body. Shake your head, Ebony. And you see the movement? Okay. She had sleepy. She like, So, now I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in. Somebody will be calling me right now. So right now I'm going to go in and I'm going to give her a full trim. I'm going to blaze this light up just a little bit. So if it gets real shiny, my apologies. Hey, Paulette. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Roxanne. Thanks, girl, for jumping on. So, one of the other things that I like to do when I finish before I go in and seal someone's hair in, I like to do a cool shot. Okay? That's just my thing. Cool shot, cold seals everything in. I ain't keep it up this side so they don't smell them damage. Okay, so I'm gonna go in. I'm old school. I still like to use an all-purpose comb. And what we're going to do today is I'm just gonna shape her bob back in. She likes to. When I cut it over the summer, it was more of an asymmetric bob, but honey, she done grew this thing all the way out. In the meantime and in between time. So I'm gonna go in, turn it straight, and just give her a clean cut. So, clients, let me tell y'all something. I hope y'all listening to me. If y'all don't hear nothing else I say, hear me when I say this. When you're getting your hair cut, please, please, please be mindful that if you are holding a bad head, you on the phone, you trying to watch Facebook, you trying to do all of these things, you're going to end up with a disconnected cut that was not desired. Okay? So I want you to be very mindful of what you're doing when you are in your stylish chair. Being very careful to hold your head in the proper position. The way you sit, folding your legs, all of that has everything to do with making sure that that cut is right. Okay? Now, you want your bob back? I asked if she wanted a bob back. She said, I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to take my shears. Now, this is my favorite shear because my hands are little. And so my hands can't hold a lot of big stuff. Let's hope and pray I don't drop this comb, y'all, because I'm notorious for a drop. So I'm just going to trim her up. You'll get a little bit of glare. Let me see if I can get this over here. From this light. I'm sorry. Normally I don't like to do this much moving. But when I am going live, I have to do a little bit more moving than I like to normally do because I'm trying to make sure that you guys can get a good view of everything. Okay, so again, we started out, she was totally natural. She's still natural. I wasn't talking about she was totally natural. We started out, she was natural. We did a steam treatment, moisturizing, a detox, moisturizing, conditioning treatment with one of my cocktails with my naked products that I created. And now we are just going to go in and clean this cut up. So I asked if she wanted a bob back. She's like, I don't know, so I'm going to make my own decision, okay? With a 0 shear angle. I'm going to go across here. Ooh. Okay. Had to adjust my shears. Now, because I like for it to have a little bit of swing, I'm going to over direct it back. I have to switch my shears. My thumb thing, the blocker came out. Excuse me, guys. Quick adjustment. Okay. Had to make a quick adjustment. For every professional that's on here, let me tell you something. If you notice that something is going on with your tool, you have to stop, right? So we know how shears work. This part of my small shear was missing. I don't know how it came out, but that's something I need to call my shear guy and get that rectified, because as you see, I put it down and picked up another tool so that I can make sure that I can complete this cut with proper cutting. You also want to make sure that your shears are sharp enough to do what needs to be done and they're sanitized, okay? So, again, we're coming in. I'm just going to slightly point cut her because I like to see movement. Her hair is fine, so I don't have to do a lot of notching or anything such as that, but I like to make sure that her lines are clean, but also I like to make sure that she has some movement with a little bit of texture on the ends. Okay, moving over to the other side, I'm just bringing all the hair down at its natural fall, and I'm over directing it back, and I'm coming in on this side at a little bit of a deeper angle, so that we can, this hair is longer, so I want to make sure that it falls the way that I want it to fall. Now I want to bring the hair back around her ear so that I get all of the hair in one position and in one place at one time. Slight elevation. and removing that. And so again, today we're just doing a trim. Now, when I do a trim, as I tell my people, you can always tell when you didn't get a haircut because you didn't pay $65 for it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and take off these ends. Starting in the middle, slight elevation. Now, if I over directed her hair when I did the base around at the bottom, then of course I'm going to come in a crown where I'm still trimming, taking off some excessive hair. That's what trimming is, not creating a cut. And I'm also going to remove it there. Okay? But if I over direct it at the bottom, at the base, then I have to make certain that I'm over directing that hair throughout the cut because I want it to have the same fall, in the same flow. And it keeps me from overcutting in one spot and not cutting enough in the others. And then when you draw that hair back, you should be able to see a good clean line. Okay? Same thing on the opposite side. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to over direct this hair diagonal back. Okay? See how this hair is very shadowy? So if you guys were on here when I did the steam treatment, one of the things that we talked about was the fact that her ends in certain parts, we knew that they would have to go because they were already very fragile. And again, I'm not creating a cut because I've already cut the hair once before back in June. So it's pretty much still in the same place. I'm just making sure that we put it back in the same direction that it was in without totally recreating a cut. Now, even though I want you guys to notice something, although I'm sectioning this part off, I'm doing a diagonal part, a diagonal back part, right? I'm still trimming her hair, taking this off, because just because you're trimming, you just don't pick hair up and trim it any kind of way you want. You still make sure you go in the direction of the design. So if you created it as a design, then that's how you continue to flow with it. You see what I'm saying? So when you go back in and you check your cut, you should be able to see those same angles from the beginning. Now, we are going to go in. Now you see here, we know that she lost some layers here, or some length here. We're going to go in, and I want to put a little bit more emphasis on that over direction of her right side. I want it to be a little cleaner than what it was, but I still want her to have this little tail down here. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to lift her bangs and over direct them back. I almost grabbed myself. All right. Now we are going to go in and we are simply going to curl this hair. Now, if she decided that she just wanted to wake up, let me show you guys something. If she decided that she just wanted to wake up in the morning and wear her hair wrapped, she can. You feel me? You're tracking with me. If she wants to wake up and wear this hair over directed behind her ear and just let it lay, she can. Because this is the deal. Always remember this. If you cut someone's hair and that person cannot wear the cut, then you've done them a disservice. Okay? Everyone should be able to wear their cut natural. They should be able to wear it naked. They shouldn't have to have it curled at all time, because we have to learn how to cut, and when you can wear it clean and without any style to it or without any curls to it, then you know you've done what you need to do. Okay? So I'm going to bring it back over here, And I'm going to get back behind the chair where my other tools are, and we're going to curl her out. Okay? And so we're going to, as I said when we were silkening her out, she wants curls. So we're going to go in and just give her some loose body waves. Thank you guys for hanging with me today. I know I don't go live often, but sometimes I like to just kind of hang out and kick it with y'all a little bit. Now, I am going to go in with some of my own oil and put just in this one little spot that she has, this little dry patch. Because the steam treatment did what it was supposed to do, and it began to lift up and give some relief to that scalp. So in placing it in that dry patch, this is where she's always itchy at, right here. You want to make sure that you go in and place it just there so that her hair can stay lubricated from where the steam treatment did what it was supposed to do. But do you guys see this body in the flow? Her hair isn't heavy. I didn't over flat iron it. I didn't over blow dry it, because we're going to give her some texture curls. All right. Let's see. Let me put this over here. Instead of me doing all this extra moving, I'm trying to give you guys a good clean sight, line of sight. Okay. So remember, I said earlier, if you know that you are going to style someone's hair, that's why with me there is a price for a silk out. That means I'm going to silk you out. We'll probably wrap you and you're going to walk out the door. But then there's also a shampoo silk out curl. If you know that that's what's on the menu for that customer, you have to be very mindful not to go out and put too much heat on that client's hair when you know that you have to come back and reinvigorate that hair with more heat. So I'm going to use my Kenra. This is my Kenra number 13. I like that for movable, combable. Next day I want to do some different hair. And if you notice, I am spraying at a distance. Okay? Now I like to start, being that we're doing this in an asymmetric, her hair is already cut in a slight elevated bob. I'm just going to give a turn of my wrist and put our curls there. And then on the sides, and if you guys can see that? Now on the sides, I'm going to style with a little less intensity, because we're going to do this like a body wave. So you see the difference in those two curls. This one has a point because we want the cut to show up, and this one has a little bit more fullness. All right, we're going to do the same thing over here. Hey ladies, thank you guys for jumping on. Be sure to share this post if there's any questions you have. I just wanted to hang out with you guys. And I guess it kind of sort of started into a teaching session. At first I was just hanging with you guys. And so right now I'm going in and I'm just doing some curls on her. We're going to do that kind of sort of the beach wave look, but without it being too beachy, too wavy, too loose, too tight. We're going to meet them right there in the middle. Okay? So if you guys are just tuning in, let me tell you what we've done so far. We went in, brought her in. She's been wearing her hair in 2 braids. This is my daughter. She's been wearing her hair in 2 braids, and so we brought her in for a detox treatment, as well as a moisture treatment. Then we put her under the steamer for 30 full minutes, allowed her hair to receive all of the hydration that the hydroculator is going to give. And then once she was done, we rinsed her out. I did create my own formulation with my products off my Naked line for her steam treatment. And then after that was done, I took her back to my shampoo bowl area, and we went in and I did her a cool shot rinse. As we spoke in the first segment where we talked about, let's talk about these curls. I talked to them. I went back in and I put her under the dryer, under a cool dryer for 20 minutes. And if you guys didn't check that portion out, make sure you check it out so you can understand why I went in with a cool dryer. Okay, and so now I'm coming in closer to her crown. For those of you who have been with me through this air forming, you'll understand that she has a little bit of dry scalp, and so my steam treatment did its job. The steam treatment did its job by lifting anything that was on her scalp off. Okay, now let's see. Kavana said, is there a different technique for thick hair? Yes. Woo, girl, you natural, bless your heart. Woo. Yes, you know what? Every hair texture and every hair type is different. And then for your hair type, because if my memory serves me correctly, Kavana, you have really nice hair. You just have a plethora of hair. So your density is very high. And so what needs to happen with your hair is you have to find the right moisture and the right amount of products to use on your hair. So I do say that thick hair is a little different. Like I can use my same Naked and Essations line on my clients that have extremely thick hair. I just go about a different protocol. It depends on what they need, because again, every customer is unique. Every customer is unique. So I would literally just look at your hair and say, okay, let's go this route. So pretty much everything I do is customizable. But if you don't have any allergens and so on and so forth, I love the Naked line. If you don't have any nut allergies, I don't care what hair texture, what hair type, it has always been my go-to. And as I tell people, not just because I'm an educator with them, because I was using the product before I started educating with them. But when they came out with the Naked line and the natural hair market started taking over, that was my go-to. But I mean, I already had something, so it just made my life even easier. It gave me options with more hair textures and more hair types. So I would definitely say it depends on what you need in order to know which product is going to be that's going to best suit you. Did I answer your question for you? Did I answer your question for you, Kavana? All right, so as you guys can see, I'm already halfway done. Let me move this over. Hey, Phyllis Milton. Hi, Douglas Graham. Hey, Miss Brenda. Hey, Miss Nancy. Hey, Jaime. Hey, Trina. Hey, Chloe. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Osmond. Hey, Tonio. Trina. Hey, JT. Why you ain't at work? You probably off of here by now. Hey, Vita. Oh, my God. I need to come back to California. Hey, Valencia. Hey, so for you guys who are just tuning in, I'm just doing I did a silk out on my baby today. We first did a detox, clarifying treatment on her. Then we went in with the moisture repair, and then we followed that up with the my own concoction that I make with the honey and almond keratin plus reconstructive mask, as well as the orange sorbet oil, which is my own holistic oil that I make here. Placed her under the steamer, the hydroculating steamer, for 30 minutes. Rinsed her out with a cool shot. Then we went in, placed her under a cool dryer to lock the moisture in for approximately 10 minutes. It might have been 8. Did you open your eyes? Mm-hmm. She opened her eyes like, Mama, that ain't right. Don't be checking me, girl. And so after we did that, we came in, we did a light air formation to make sure that we left some texture in her hair, because as I said, to everyone earlier, she's going to be wearing it in curls, and we're just kind of giving her some body waves, some beach waves, loose waves, so that she can pin curl it up later on tonight. And more than anything, our whole point was to get her curls locked back in. And so we accomplished that. I will post pictures of before and after I was on earlier so that everyone could kind of see where she was in the process of her steamer, and we talked about hair texture and all of these people talking about how they losing their curls, so on and so forth. But Valencia, I will, if you're still on here, I'll be in your area next month. I'll be in Maryland. I don't know why I can't pronounce the name of this place, probably because I hadn't tried to, but let somebody. I think I posted a flyer on my page. So if you can come, please let me know. I would love to see you. Would love to see you. I know I will be sharing the stage and the platform with Micheline Barber and Anthony Brommer. He's going to be there as well. He's going to teach a little bit on clipper cutting for women's hair. So if you guys are in the DMV area, please be sure to join us. Okay, so again, I'm done. As you guys can see, I'm done. Let me turn it all the way around. Now, her hair is very fine, as you guys can see, and we just did a steam treatment. So as I said early on, I don't like to put a lot of product into people's hair. So I'm going to go in and just give her a light mist. This is my Kenra Finishing Shine Spray. A lot of my other sprays that I have that are in my reserve from my Essations and Naked by Essations line, they will be a little bit too heavy for her hair. Especially with it raining and everything, it would probably lock the moisture in a little bit more, but it would definitely be a little bit too heavy. And then I'm going to take my comb instead of using my brush. I'm going to take my wide tooth comb and I'm just going to track the curls out, kind of like that. And come back to it. Now, so it's raining here, and normally I would have just let her wear it wrapped. So being that it's raining, you know, I said, well, no, let's just go ahead and set it with curls so that you can go ahead and wear it however you want to later. So you guys see in the way that I trimmed it, you can still see her cut. Let's come over here. Man, this little tripod been all over the place today, honey. And in this way, you can still see that she still has curls in place. And this is pretty much all she's gonna have to do. And you see where we went in and we trimmed up her bob? You can still see the dimensions in her bob. And she still has flow right here. And if she wants to wear it behind her ear, she can. If she wants to wear it down and in her face, she can do that too. So I am done. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. She's my toy for the day. She is my little toy for the day. I had an opportunity to play with her hair today to just kind of give her something normal outside of her braids. Oh, let me tell y'all about this. Hey, Kimberly, I will see you next month. Okay, guys, like for real, this is not a product class, but you know, it's hard for me to talk about what I do without talking about the products that I use. Y'all look, this right here. Can y'all see that? This Slade Edge Control is a beast, okay? I'm just gonna use a little bit on her edges just to kind of show you guys what this stuff can do. And as you guys see, I'm just using a little bit. You see, I have a problem swiping with my nails because if I don't, sometimes I can get a little heavy-handed, honey, and have too much product all over the place. But let me show y'all about this Slade, honey. This Slade Edge Control. They are now. I was already in love with the Lade, but when they created this, I was like, my God, what have y'all created? So I put a little bit of that Lade on there. The Slade, not the Lade. And then I just like to take my comb and just shuffle through real fast. And you guys see, I just put a little bit on that spot. Excuse me. And then just a little bit around here. And so she has an opportunity to go home, do what she want to do with this little old wrap, this bob. And if I know her, she ain't gonna wrap it. She's not gonna wrap it. She might pin curly for a day or two. I'm gonna give her a day or two. Straighten your face up. I'm gonna give her a day or two. Oh yeah. But this is it. We just wanted to give her some curls. And she is done. Ebony, my friend Miss Phyllis said hi. You probably don't remember her because you were like a little bitty girl. You remember Miss Phyllis? Yeah, I was about to say, you remember Miss Phyllis. You got a good memory. Phyllis, she said, hey. Hey, Dwayne, thanks for hanging out with me. All right. And so she has some curls. And again, she's natural. So hopefully she won't go out in this rain and lose everything. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hey, Emma. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Ebony was my choice for the day. She was like, Mom, I need my hair done. So I was like, if you're going to come get your hair done, you got to be my model for the day. While I talk about getting these curls back in the water. So I'm looking at her. Yeah, so y'all know she went to beauty school, right? I'm going to talk about it in her face. She went to beauty school, but this heifer, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call her heifer.
I just wanted this part to get a little bit more slippery.
She, why she over there trying to finish off her hair to me? I just wanted this part. Y'all know I don't do the baby hair, and I don't do all of the extra stuff. Let me show y'all what she doing.
No, get me off of that.
Turn around. Show them what you did.
Mama, seriously.
She had to put her baby hair in there. Because y'all know I don't do all that. Look at her.
I just wanted to make it a little bit smoother. Thank you. Okay, bye, Facebook.
Y'all, she my child for real. But so thank you guys. Hey, Jackie Momo. Hey, Christopher. Thank you guys. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. So now that I have taken care of her, then now I can get out here and do something with myself, Lord. Because this rain is beating us up out here today. This rain got us looking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hopefully you'll get an opportunity to check out the first portion where I talked a little bit more in depth about hair textures and hair types, understanding how to clarify that hair, understanding about shampoos, understanding the difference in hydration, moisturizer, knowing just honestly what you're doing with natural hair. The problem is a lot of people think that they're damaging their hair, and it's just that they're not feeding it what needs to be fed. You know, it's like they have their hair on McDonald's every day instead of eating a salad. Best analogy I can give, because you know I'm a health food. So but yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, thank you, Phyllis. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop me an email. You can email me at ceomsmimi@gmail.com. That's ceomsmimi@gmail.com. And I would be more than proud to answer your questions. You guys have a great day. If you're in the DFW metropolitan area, baby, stay dry because it is raining out there. But at least it's not cold. So I will see you guys. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Hey, Deborah. Your ain't Ebony. And Deborah Ebony said, hey. She said like she in trouble. Is she in trouble? But any rate, guys, we are chiming off. I'm going to get myself prepared for my next client who is receiving a relaxer cut and color. No, she's receiving a relaxer color. Ooh, my hair. She's receiving a relaxer demi color and style. And I will bring you guys some pictures later. So thank you. And again, if you guys have any questions, give me a call. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye-bye.